Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack today. I'm back with pack number 12 of my 1988 Topps Mini Leaders box. I'm trying to see how many packs I have to crack to get all 77 cards in the complete set. I've added a link to the preview video in the description below, which gives a little explanation on the set and the highlights of what I could pull in cracking these packs. Since there are only 7 cards per pack, I'll guess which categories a player led their league and then flip over the back to see if I was right or how very bad my memory is from the 1987 MLB season. I've also created the cool checklist to keep track of our progress as we go along. We'll be cracking pack number 12. I only have 17 more cards to go to complete the first set. And Rickey Henderson is my only Hall of Famer I've yet to crack. So let's zoom in and walk down memory lane with these cards from 1988. Okay, so hopefully it looks like if I get a rate of about 3 to 4 non-duplicates, I'll be able to complete my set hopefully around pack 15, 16, 17, or 18 would be my hope. So let's flip it over, get rid of Spring Fever Baseball, catch it and die. I remember that kind of funny play on it back in the day. All right, first card that we have is Eric Davis. Eric Davis was a phenomenal player. Part of what I've talked about in previous videos, his body just couldn't stay healthy. But aside from that, when he came up with the Reds early on, he was a great player. He had a 30-30 season. I think 1987 was 30-30 season. And he even missed like 20 to 30 games that year. So for Eric Davis, I'm going to go with him being a league leader in home runs, RBI, stolen bases, and runs. Let's see if my memory serves me correctly. Okay, so he was a lead leader in runs, home runs, stolen bases. So third in runs, fourth in home runs, fourth tied with 50 steals. Second in slugging percentage, seventh on walks, and eighth in on-base percentage. Shortened season, missed about, like I said, 30 games, still had 100 RBI. Would have been, I don't know, maybe a 50-50 guy, 40-40 guy. He was well on his way. Great player, Eric Davis. Unfortunately, like I said, his body didn't hold up, and he still played until I think 2000. Next, we have Carlton Fisk, all-star catcher, Hall of Famer, played with the Red Sox and the White Sox. I can't remember what he did performance-wise, so I'm going to go with game-winning RBI. Is probably the only stat I can think of that he would have been done. Yep, there we go. Second in tied with 17 game-winning RBI. Toward the later end of his career, he still had 23 home runs, 71 RBIs. Did pretty well for a Hall of Fame catcher. Okay, so we'll mark off Fisk. Next we have Pedro Guerrero. Another great player, came up with the Dodgers, was really a key component to their playoff runs in the mid-'80s. He had, I remember, I think it was the 1986 season after they come off the playoffs, he tore, I think it was ligaments in his knee or his ankle. It was a base running mishap, and missed a good part of the season. Bounced back quite well to have a great year in '87. Part of their he was going to be part of their 88 team, but I believe he got traded mid-season to the Cardinals for John Tudor, which I thought at the time was a horrible trade because I was a Cardinal fan, and John Tudor was, a main cog of their mid-80s success. Pedro Guerrero, I think I'm going to go with league leader in home runs, RBI, and run. Let's also go with batting average. He had a couple of years where he had a really great batting average. So second in batting average with 338, second in hits with 184, fifth on base percentage, and then eighth in slugging. I think this was his bounce back year after missing almost all the 86 season, 27 home run and 89 RBI. But Pedro Guerrero had a few good years with the Cardinals and then retired I think in the 1990, after the 1991 season. Next up, we have Dale Murphy. Should be a Hall of Famer in my opinion. It's a travesty that he has not been voted in. I cannot think of a player during the late 70s and the decade of the 80s that battled Mike Schmidt on and off for home run, MVP. Dale Murphy was the man of the 80s decade, along with Mike Schmidt. For whatever reason, after he got traded to the Phillies and Rockies, his career just went right downhill. And I think he finished 1 or 2 home runs short of 400. So in 87, I think was another great year for Dale Murphy. I'm going to say he was a league leader in home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, on-base percentage. So he was second in home runs with 44, on-base percentage fourth, fifth in runs, fifth tied in RBI with 105, and third in walks. So once again, Dale Murphy, just a fantastic power hitter. Unfortunately, after this year, he started to go downhill a little bit. He only had about 80 more home runs in him over the next 4 or 5 years. But Hall of Famer. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. So, good deal. We haven't gotten Dale Murphy yet. Don't know why I was thinking Eddie Murphy. That's kind of weird. Maybe I was mixed up with Eddie Murray and Dale Murphy. Next up, we have Dale Evans. Now, Evans had a very interesting 87 season. I think 85 was the year that he had 40 home runs and was the oldest player age-wise to lead their league in home runs. So interesting stat about Darrell Evans. He was part of their World Series championship team in 85. Here he's shown playing first base, but he really mainly was a designated hitter toward the end of his career. I think in 87, Evans was once again leading the league in home runs and RBI. Probably got up there with game-winning RBI as well. We'll throw that out there. Okay, so home runs, he was tied for third with 34, and then fourth in walks with 100. A little bit of an underrated player. I believe he finished his career with over 400 home runs. Didn't hit much for average, but what's interesting was he wasn't a huge strikeout slugger. He finished his career with more walks than he did strikeouts. He doesn't get a lot of recognition or play for the Hall of Fame. He was kind of a Dave Kingman era hitter, but not quite the strikeout guy that Dave Kingman was. Okay, so we'll get Darrell, not Dwight Evans. We got Dwight Evans earlier. Dale Evans marked off. Jack Clark. Great memory of Jack Clark. He, in 1985, hit the home run off of Tom Niedenfuer to send the Cardinals to the World Series. The Cardinals went into Game 6 down, and it looked like the Dodgers were going to win Game 6 at home. Game 7 was going to be in LA. Looked like the Dodgers had it well in hand. Clark came up, hit a home run. Cardinals win the National League Championship Series, go on to the World Series, and yes, lose to the Royals. Clark had a decent year with the Cardinals. I don't believe he was a league leader in home run or RBI. I'm going to have to go with, let's go with on-base percentage, runs, and slugging percentage. Heck, I'll even go with game-winning RBI to throw it out there as well. So on-base percentage, he was first. He was fourth in runs batted in with 106. Game-winning RBI, he was fifth with 15. So I got on-base percentage, game-winning RBI. He was first in slugging percentage, first in walks, and he was tied for sixth with 35 home runs. Jack Clark, great Cardinal. Spent, that was his final year at the Cardinals. I'm not sure why he didn't re-sign with him as a free agent, but he moved on to the Yankees. And the final card out of our pack today is Darryl Strawberry. So it's kind of fitting that we got Eric Davis and Darryl Strawberry in the same pack, as they were childhood friends growing up together in the Los Angeles area. They eventually went to play together in LA. Neither one of them were in great physical shape and had rough years. Darryl Strawberry was a key component to the Mets' run in the mid-'80s. I'm going to say he was the league leader in home run, RBI, and let's go with runs and on-base percentage. So he was tied for, he was third with 39 home runs, third in slugging percentage, fourth in walks, seventh in RBI, seventh in runs, ninth in on-base percentage, and 10th with stolen bases. So another all kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Well-rounded categories in being a league leader in many different areas. So anyway, best card out of the pack for me, or what evokes the most memories for me, once again, is going to be Dale Murphy. Murphy just didn't get his due. He did so many different things, helping the Braves in the mid-'80s when they were an awful team. He really only was able to experience the playoffs in 1982 when they were beaten by my St. Louis Cardinals to in the National League Championship Series, which Cardinals went on to beat the Brewers in the '82 World Series. But Dale Murphy deserves more recognition and should be a Hall of Famer. If Jim Rice is in the Hall of Fame, Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame. If Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame, Dale Murphy should be a Hall of Famer. Anyway, enough ranting about Dale Murphy not being in the Hall of Fame. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Also share with me in the comments what your favorite card or what you thought was the best card in the pack. Until next time, when I am back to crack the next pack of 1988 Topps Mini Leaders in my quest to complete the set.